Time to get started, Robert Rosti.
Yes, sir. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter what time you're watching, no matter where and on this earth you're watching. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Absolutely. I'm Bevo.
And I'm Robert Rostick.
Roberto Robert.
Yes.
Thank y'all for tuning in to this week's episode of Raising Unmanageables. It's episode 71.
Yes.
Robert Rosti. It's been a couple weeks since we met, I think, right?
Yeah. I went up to school the last time, and then you were out last week.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I had a potential client meeting.
Yeah.
That I didn't want to reschedule.
I understand, man. Clients first.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we jump into this, please subscribe to our, click the links to get notifications here, actually, and then subscribe to our YouTube channel. And click the link there or the bell there to get notifications. Please help us by subscribing. Mm-hmm. Please help us by sharing, and please help us by commenting. But yeah, back to, I had a potential client situation.
So tell me about it.
Well, she actually reached out to me via, I sent out an email, just kind of recapping or with some people that I had got their business cards. And I sent out an email to them just to say, hey, this is what I'm doing right now. And why don't you go ahead and sign up for a free consultation and let's just talk and figure out if we're a good fit to work together. You know?
That's vitally important, being a good fit.
Yeah.
Vitally important.
Yeah. So she scheduled. I was excited about that. But then she canceled she had to cancel the first time we didn't. So that she rescheduled for last Tuesday.
Okay.
But it went well. Her name's Patricia. She's an artist here in Seminole. And she's getting back on her horse with regard to being a painter.
More power to her.
Yeah.
I mean, to get back on the horse.
She's been out of the game for like 30 years.
And so when somebody's been out of the game and they're coming back to you brand new, they generally will refer to everything that happened 30 years ago. So how do you coach them based on 2019 instead of 1998?
Well, fortunately, in her situation, I usually try to meet everybody where they are, right? So in her situation, she already has some technology. She has her iPhone and she has her iPad. She doesn't have a computer, but you don't really need it these days anyway. So she was already wanting to do more and learn more about how social media works, why to do it here versus why to do it over here, what not to do. And so I just kind of help field some of those questions for her. And that's usually how I work anyway, is coming and starting out where people are in their process, in their journey. So it's not like a blanketed, here's what you do, pay me and I'm out. It's really, let's figure out what it is that you're actually want to be known for first.
Well, now my curiosity is from the outset of how do you get that person interested in you? So take me down the road of where you first met this person. And I think you said it was a client that you had a while back.
No, I haven't. We didn't know each other prior to.
Okay, good. So how do you get it to the point where you guys are both sitting at the same table?
So I did meet her in this cohort called Co-Starters. And Co-Starters is a program down in St. Pete where they actually, it's kind of like it's a business class light. It's like a light business class, right? Just to kind of get you up and started and thinking about how to run your business and some things that you might want to incorporate while you're going down that road. And by the end of this 9-week session or 9-week course, you should have everything you need to know to at least start your business.
To start it, yes.
Right. So I met her in that course. I went to give a speech there or talk there, and she was in the class. So like I said, I collected a bunch of business cards that day. I passed out a bunch of business cards, and when I sent the email, she responded back. Yeah, and usually when I talk to that class, this is my 3rd or 4th time speaking in front of that class. Different class every time, by the way. But usually when I talk to them, it's usually from the perspective of relationship building and how important it is to make sure that you're consistently tending to your relationships and quickly trying to get out of the friend zone, right, and into into like let's go steady zone, right? That way they start, they trust you and they pay you after that point.
Yeah, I find that intriguing how a relationship actually forms,
right?
And what causes it to to solidify, get the two people to come together and finally say, let's see what can happen.
Right.
Because we pass out business cards all the freaking time. That's why you get 9,000, so you can get one person to respond. That's kind of the way it works. But you pass them out, and I never really know what causes something to stick. Because when people come through the door with me, for me, I go, well, how do you know who I am? I don't recall meeting you. I said, oh, way back when you were at this particular place, and I wasn't able to talk to you, but some other friends were there, and I thought what you were saying was relevant.
Right.
So they referred me, and here I am. And I'm going like, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So
and it works that way. And I think it's a testament to who you are as an instructor, who you are as a person, your personality, and if it resonates with people.
But the same thing happens on your end as well.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, how did this woman?
Well, I definitely gave myself a pat on the back because first of all, this is an older woman, and she has invited me to her house to come and meet with her.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's a vote of trust at that point, automatically right off the bat.
And we've only met each other one time in a group of people, right? So I was like, okay, B, you must be doing something right because you're about to go to this little old white lady's house.
Oh, she's a white lady?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Right. And
did you not call the cops and have them go ahead of you and escort you
tell
there?
them I was coming?
Yeah.
Right. I did not. But
did you see all the cameras that then turned onto you as you were entering the street? Trained on you?
I did not. There was probably a couple though, for sure.
I'm sure.
But I had to give myself a pat on the back because I thought about it on the drive out there. I'm like, I am going to this person's house I never met. She invited me to her house, right? And I was like, that's a level of trust that you don't want to even play with, or you don't, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to fracture that at all whatsoever.
Even if it's a guy, you don't want to. When somebody invites you to their home,
right? You
definitely don't want to miss that one.
Right, absolutely. So that's how that interaction came. Basically, I met her in this talk, and I sent out an email, and she responded to it, right? And people are in different situations. So some people they have money, some people don't have money. We talked about the value in both those situations and what to do if they don't have a lot of money. And if I like the person, I like to try to work with them.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So even if I know that they can't pay this big, huge budget over here, I'm like, let's just figure something out, or at least set up a situation where you can call me every now and again and ask some questions, and I'll be glad to just field some questions for you. I don't care about a 20-minute conversation about YouTube videos. If you're trying to figure that out, it's not gonna cost me anything more. You know what I mean? But that brings me to a point though about relationships where I have this story recently that came to fruition where I'm always talking about manifesting, like your thoughts and ideas and everything. And before I really knew what that was, like 10 years ago, when I first moved back to Florida,
from Atlanta, right?
When I first moved back to Florida from Texas.
From Dallas.
From Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas.
I had a woman, I was working for a company down in Bradenton. And she liked me, and she had a small company. She has a small company, and she really they worked really well together. And she wanted me to become a part of their team, right? And I was freelancing. I was driving from Dunedin to Bradenton. I was freelancing with her, and she wanted me to become part of the team. And I was like, I need this job.
Yeah.
Like I need it.
Right. Been there before.
Need it. But I said to her, I don't want to work for you because I like this job, but I also want to be a partner with you one day. And I know that's not going to be the case if I'm working for you because I'm going to have to quit. And when I quit, it's going to fracture the relationship that I want to be able to build, right, to become your partner. So long story short, 10 years, I've been going to their holiday parties. After about 5 years, we stopped working so frequently together. I still do some copywriting work for her through Beach and Maine. However, so I'm still in their zeitgeist, right? I'm still in their frame of mind. And she calls me she called me 2 weeks ago, and she says, hey, I have this client that I think it'd be cool for us to partner on. And I was like, Yes.
Planted the seed,
Yes.
and the seed
Yes.
is now growing.
And that was 10 years
Yeah.
ago, right? That was 10 years ago. So it really is about how you're presenting yourself. It really is about how committed you are to, showing up. It really is about how committed you are to tending to relationships, you know what I mean? So that they work for everybody in the future. Yeah.
And it's like growing a perennial and then growing a tree.
Right.
One is going to be there forever, and the other one's going to come every so often, and
Right.
it's going to die out,
Right.
and it's going to come in. But that tree one that you planted 10 years ago, it seemed to have now grown to a point where of maturity that you guys can meet eye to eye.
And you know what happened too? So I called her and I was like, hey, I kind of want you to be my mentor on some things because you're at a place in business where I don't have purview to. I don't have a line of sight to where you are. Or, you know what I mean? Just because I'm not at that level from a financial standpoint, right?
Gotcha.
Experience-wise, there's just different experiences that we share. But from a financial standpoint, I'm not where you are. So I'm like, okay, how do you get somewhere? You ask somebody who's already there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Going on that thought, I don't think we surround ourselves with the people that will help propel us to the place we want to be.
Right.
We keep going back to the same old thing that's familiar to us instead of introducing ourselves to something new that's going to get us to whatever goal it is we want, where we want to be.
I was just talking about that yesterday to this young dude at my gym, and what in every industry, like photographers hang with photographers and artists hang with artists and the graphic designers, we all hang with each other. And we're all, because it's a comfort thing for us and we know the language, we know everyone's gonna say we're doing a good job and there's not gonna be a lot of friction. But I think if you're trying to push past a certain point, you have to have people in your circle that are doing things at a higher level than you to be able to aspire to or be pulled to that point, right? So after asking her to help to mentor me, our conversations quickly went from, her giving me business advice to let's just set an appointment every month, once a month, and we're just gonna have a conversation. We're just gonna talk. It's just gonna be about us being friends. We're just gonna catch up and discuss what happened a month ago, right? Just as friends. So it went from this, hey, teach me about business to let's just have a relationship and a friendship and build from that position, right?
I always say that opportunity favors the prepared mind. That's kind of my saying. I've been saying it for a long time. So if you put yourself in the proximity of the people who can help prepare that mind and help grow that mind, then an opportunity is definitely going to come your way.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no way for it not to, because you're in that circle where you're saying, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm preparing.
Right.
And so that is just automatic in a sense. But I think some people, they shy away from success in the sense of growth, and they want success wherever they are at the time of comfort. Right. And those are two different types of success.
Speaking about that too, in success or the lack thereof or not working towards certain goals, I had the topic of imposter syndrome came up. You know what this is?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the audience may not know what
Alex,
it is.
do you know what imposter syndrome is? Okay, so a lot of the times us adults suffer from this once we get to a certain point in our life when it's time to put up or shut up, right? And we're afraid that we don't have enough information to be what we want to be, or that there's already too many people performing at a higher level at that thing. So why would people listen to me about this thing? Or I guess in its totality, it ends up being a self-esteem issue, really, right? And you're talking to yourself like, why am I certified or the expert on doing this when there's already so many people out here doing it? And the short answer is because they're not going to do it the same way you're going to do it, right? But that topic came up and I laughed at it because I didn't know what it was in the beginning, right? Because I was like, what's this imposter syndrome stuff? I was just like, it was kind of like the word like bullying, like being bullied in high school and then cyberbullying. I was like, what is cyberbullying? Like you can bully people over the internet and they actually give a damn, right? And so this seemed like a self-esteem issue, but it's a real thing, and people feel like they haven't started the things that they want to do or achieve the things that they want to achieve because they don't feel like they're enough yet, and they have to keep learning and keep striving until they get to this point where the clouds are going to part, the sunshine is going to come, and then it's just going to open up and they can just jump into success now because they have all the information. When the whole point is you just got to start. You have to stop stopping.
Stop something and start.
And start
then,
just doing and not.
And carry
Right.
the water on your back.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Once you carry the water on your back and you head out to your journey, you have succeeded.
That's right.
That's the success, the
That's
fact
right.
that you're on the journey.
Yeah. So a lot of those things came up. That's been happening over this last couple of weeks. And you mentioned just things that I was putting up on Twitter the other day. I kind of challenged myself to be a little more on top of my social media, just because, that's what I help with my clients. But the more you help other people, the less you do for yourself.
Absolutely.
Right.
I find that happening
Right.
quite a bit. You have to carve out that time to continue to move forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Static is only going to mean that you are being left behind because everyone else is moving forward.
Yeah, especially if you're the one helping them push forward too, right? But you've been doing a pretty good job with regard to, first of all, just your own stuff, shooting and then posting it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So we've been seeing a lot more just work from you. You've been a whole lot more prolific in the style that you're working on.
I said it on camera that I was going to do this. And I don't want the world to make a liar out of me. If anybody's going to make a liar, it's going to be me.
That's right. And the thing I want to point out,
Mm-hmm.
the important thing you said when you said that on camera is you didn't know what you wanted to do at the time, but you said you were going to step it up and you were going to do something about it. So I think that's a big thing to kind of point out about that is you didn't know what that thing was, but you knew that you were looking for something. As soon as you found it, you were going to lean all the way into it.
Absolutely.
And keep producing.
And so that's where we are, is that you don't just state it. You have to put forth that tiny bit of spark. And the spark will then create a bigger spark, which will then propel you and move you forward. And I think that's what the takeaway is from today's deal is not to go into your own corner and to open up and invite other people into your world, even the people that are not about your world. And then those people everyone has something to offer. And you can ride off of them, and then you can also use them, and you can make yourself available to be used as well.
Yeah.
And I think those things are important, especially in business.
And I think just to piggyback on that really quickly, if you're trying to get to a place and you don't know how to get there, but you know where you want to go, I think one of the best things to do in getting to that place is to find someone and ask them, "How may I help you?" And jump on board, because if you're helping them, you're going to learn just by proxy of being in that space, right? And then you may get paid a little, you may get paid a lot, you may get paid nothing. You know what I mean? However, you're going to learn from that process, and it's going to, now you're going to be associated with that person and the work that they actually are doing, and that helps you in the long run.
And the relationship.
And the relationship.
You will make a relationship.
Yeah.
Because I will tell you this, and mark my words on this, please mark my words. If you know nothing and you say nothing, you will get nothing.
Absolutely.
If you know nothing and you want something, say something, and someone out there will guide you to the place where something is.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
Absolutely. Man, so this is like a high note of this conversation right now. So I don't even want to drift off into La La Land right now like I know we could. So let's just end it on that.
Good.
And so just take us out with that beautiful thought that we always try to express to people, Robert.
Oh, okay, I will. We have Alex, who's on camera here, and we have Mason Guerin, who's producing the show. And you have myself, Robert Rostick, and Brian. We are all making sure that on our end, that you understand that your responsibility is to go out and be a little bit unmanageable.
Every day.
So we'll
Everybody.
see you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week. Peace.